Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are bringing you still the round of 16 match, but this time it's going to be the last game. It's the tiebreaker game, and honestly, it's one of those matches that I really wanted to cast, but there was so many good ones going on that I didn't get to it. But I'm glad we're getting to cast the tiebreaker. I'm actually joined by Spiff. We're going to merge our two streams together now. Spiff, please introduce our first player.
All right, well, we are going to start down in the south side of Desolatia V2 with our yellow UEF commander. It is Zadayka, and he's gone for a quick air factory. He's following that up with 2 land factories, and he's only built 4 mass extractors so far, so he's going to have some work to do catching up on the economy once he's got all this production. And Nite, what is going on the other side of the map?
And on the top of Desolatia, we have spawning on this snowy surface that looks more like snowy pea. But anyway, it is Polarbearz, our orange UEF commander, opening up with an air factory and a land factory. So very similar builds. And I wanted to say that this is a very interesting matchup because they've played in the winter season final. And I believe Zadayka won that 2-0. So this is already much better for Polar. Looks like there's a nice engagement here. Zadayka is very strong in his air. So let's see if he can manage to grab a win.
I'm sorry, Nite. I didn't hear anything that you just said after snowy pea. Did I hear that right?
Yes. I mean, it looks like it's such a
What?
yellow orangey map and it's snow.
If your pee is anything close to that color, I strongly encourage you to go see a doctor.
Okay, I agree. Maybe you're right. But, you know, we have that one Shiva Prime, was it, map? Or that we have anatomical orientations.
Yes, that's true.
And now we have the snowy pea map.
Well, hey, just a reminder to everyone out there, stay hydrated.
Yes, please do so. You know, it's kind of hot out there these days, but anyway. All right, so it looks like Zadayka is a little bit in the lead because of that air. I don't know why there's Titans on the field, to be completely honest. I mean, there's only 2 of them. Yeah, super weird. Gonna meet resistance with these tanks on the left-hand side, and that right one is not gonna do anything. So I feel it's just like a research sink or waste.
Yeah, I don't really know what they were supposed to accomplish. I mean, maybe if you kept building them, maybe if it was like a 3-factory Titan and like almost play it like a Cybran, I could see that.
Yeah, this is really interesting because Polarbear, I don't know what he's adding. Oh, he's adding an anti-air installation on his air factory, but his land factories are paused. So
You know, I love this little wall that he's put up though in the kind of top right here.
Oh yeah. Can't you still squeeze like a unit in between?
Oh yeah, you can get between that.
But I
But it
didn't
makes a
know
nice
this,
choke point.
Spiff, and I'm kind of ashamed that I didn't know this. But I didn't know that mass extractors and energy generators did a little bit of damage on explosion.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I never got that, but
You know, it is easy to miss. It's not a huge amount of damage, and you got to be pretty close to them. It's nothing like a mass converter.
I think I might have known that the energy ones were, but the mass extractors I definitely didn't know because a lot of the
Actually, that's news
times,
to me as well. Energy generators, yeah, but the mass extractors, I did not know.
yeah, and apparently, and I've been using it as like cover sometimes, so I wonder if like a lot of my units got damaged pretty badly. But anyway, I think I learned that from Iron Commander. Haha.
Well, like I said, though, it's a real small radius, so you probably don't have too much to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a kind of a mirrored game, and actually now that I'm looking at it a little longer, Titans are kind of interesting here because we have this mirror. The Titan on the right kind of allowed Zadayka to expand a little faster than Polarbear.
Yeah, and it's just one Titan, though. The problem is Polarbear can't really make bombers to deal with it. And in fact, Zadayka's been building a couple of bombers himself.
Yeah, I think Polarbear was trying to trick Zadayka into stop making wasps, but now he realizes that Polarbear is still making wasps, and he just restarted his wasp production. So it's a lot of wasps, but I think you get the picture.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's actually pretty even on wasps right now, which gives a slight advantage to Zadayka because his bombers can draw a little bit of fire, but it's not a very big advantage, especially if
Yeah.
he's going to use those bombers as sacrificial scouts like he's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine, but I think
Yeah, no,
both
it's
players
perfectly
need
fine.
to really start expanding and transitioning towards the center of the map, because if you expand on that ledge where the spawns used to be, that's going to be very hard to hold if you don't have control of like the central area. And it looks like Zadayka is actually going to be placing his third land factory quite a bit back, and I'm not sure I quite like that.
Well, a defensive position can be pretty strong on this map because of the choke points. But yeah, I think that if you play a little too defensively, I'm trying to remember which game it was earlier. I think it was one of Slothy's games where a bunch of MMLs up on the top here, or maybe I don't remember who it was now. I was mostly Soul Ripper. That's what it was. Some MMLs up on the ledge there on the
Hmm.
other side of the map, your opponent's side of the map, are really devastating.
How did Soul Ripper do? Was it a close match?
I mean, it was a 2-0, but Soul Ripper put up a really good fight.
Yeah.
And neither game was a rollover.
It's funny because Osmos was very like, oh, I'm not gonna be in the money because I'm random and I'm not even practicing, and then he just like comes here and gets to the semi or the quarterfinals.
The winners bracket quarterfinals at that.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good. And this is actually another match that will determine who gets to go on and be in the money. So this is very important. And I feel like these two have a lot to prove to who is the better UEF player. I think Zadayka has
Sorry,
a
sorry to
small.
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but Hero Titan might get an engineer here.
I know there's so much micro. This is what we see Iron Combatter do, but I think he might end up losing this this mass extractor. Oh my god, this is like a crazy fight. He's gonna
He's
start
trying
healing
so
it.
hard to save the engineer.
Oh my god, he's gonna save it. Oh my god.
But the Titan stopped, and now it's gonna get. But the tanks
No,
moved
the
out of
tanks! What
range.
are the tanks doing? Oh no, the Titan! Ah. Well, I would say it provided a sufficient delay.
So much going on, and we're just like this one Titan is the most important thing in the world.
I feel like there wasn't that much going on in the center.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't.
Yeah, now I think there is just all these wasps are a liability, and I think Zadayka is playing a little bit more with the meta of JWix in mind. The meta with JWix is like, don't build that many bombers. You don't really need them. The only thing you need air for is to just so that your opponent doesn't have bombers, and that's the mindset. I feel like that's what Zadayka is doing here, because essentially he's up on land. I don't know why he's not pushing actually right now. His production is actually really good as well. That's given from his production. That was really nicely done actually with the Titans. Now all things considered, so really nice advantage that Zadayka's built up for himself.
I still don't know if it was worth the research investment into Titans, but I mean, he got his money's worth, I guess. Um, I would really love to see Zadayka split off a few tanks and send them off to the left, and just as a distraction, like 3, 4 tanks. Who cares if you lose them as long as it gets some of the army to split off?
Oh no 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 no! Okay, manages to
Ooh.
retreat with the tanks at the last second, realizing Polarbearz did a really nice job there with the ground fire.
Yeah, a few of those tanks did take some damage though, down
I
into
honestly
the
would just
yellow.
like to see a head-on assault by Zadayka. He has the army advantage, the composition from Polar Bear. Unless it hits, it's not going to do much. And I think Zadayka can out-micro. I've been
And I
hearing
think
about...
Zadayka,
Oh,
Zadayka.
that's what he wanted to do. Interesting.
Well, that's a good way to deal with it. I was thinking Zadayka has enough units that he could split his army into two, and kind of pull off a little bit of a surround, a flank. And it's ironically, it is easier to dodge artillery shots with multiple small groups than it is with one big group. Even though you have more to do, you actually end up taking less damage if you do it right.
I actually don't like how this ended up playing out for Zadayka. He ended up revealing he has jump jet or boosters, and he didn't really do enough damage here. I feel like he could have definitely pushed forward. Polar Bear still doesn't have upgrades on his units, so
Now the P shields are coming.
Yeah, well that I don't. Oh no. Okay. Well that I don't mind as much because Zadayka actually built quite a bit of mobile missile launchers. I just think he needs to push this out because the mix from Polarbear, yeah, it can get very powerful, but you can engage it straight on if you just have tanks, and I
Yeah,
feel like it'll
Zadayka
be
was doing
fine.
damage there. He was picking off tanks. I don't know why he turned around so early.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's playing for. Maybe
I
he
mean,
just
sure, you don't
wants.
want to overextend, but, you know, you still need to extend.
Yeah, and like he's not expanding anymore. I feel like I've seen so many players just get a lead today, and in the SCS in general. They're getting the lead and then they just kind of letting it go. We do have P shields coming out from Zadayka as well, though. Okay, this might be a nice engagement as he's gonna jump or booster into that army. He still has more tanks. The demolishers aren't really connecting from Polarbear, but somehow it's still even
It's the
trades.
P shields, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I
He's
didn't. I
he's
felt like there wasn't enough of them coming out though.
he looks like he's pumping out only P shields right now.
Well, both
And
players are.
I mean, see, that's the thing. If you hesitate, like, because the first time Zadayka tried that push, I think he could have pushed further, and then the second time there were too many P shields. He let Polar get a strong defense over that army to prevent exactly that sort of push from working. But if he had just pushed the first time, he'd be in a much better position, maybe even having won.
Yeah, I don't know if this another push here is going to be the right decision here. A lot of his units are outside the protection of shields, but neither player ends up losing too much here. And are both players still making air? Yeah, both players are still making wasps. At this point, I would honestly, like, if I was one of these players, I would not even want to make the air anymore.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like, especially because both air forces have just been sitting over the commander. Like, for the last, I don't know, what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? They haven't done anything at all with the air.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do with it. It's just wasps.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing exactly the issue I mentioned about 5 minutes ago, where you really have to take the center on this map, because if you don't, you're gonna end up losing your expansion. So Zadayka is not even bothering to expand with his engineer on the right hand side because Polarbear can just snipe it. That's going to be an advantage to Polarbear here in a couple of minutes. There's another engagement here, not much damage going down because of the P shields. Still, point defense for Polarbear is going to actually put in overtime. And actually, Polarbear's shields are the ones that break first. What is this? Nice micro from Zadayka.
So many shields popping back up super fast on both sides, though. So even though they're both managing to take down the shields, they don't really manage to do a lot of damage while they're down.
Yeah, Zadayka does have a lot of mobile missile launchers, so I think that's where we're getting a lot of this damage from. Because, yeah, as you guys, if you watch the missiles, I know maybe on the stream you can't really see it too well, but if you watch the missiles, the shields just, like, fall when a volley is going down and connecting with them. Yeah, and I think Zadayka has the upper hand here. He's managing to actually break through the shields without Polarbear. Yeah, this is a lot of damage on our orange commander, and Zadayka is pressuring into this point defense here.
Which I think is absolutely the right move. I just wish he'd done it 5 minutes ago.
Ooh, ground fire from Polarbear. You see that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to do a whole much, but it's kind of genius, honestly, in this situation. Yeah, both players are just exhausted from that fight. Nothing was happening there for like a solid 30 seconds. Oh my goodness. I think we need more mobile missile launchers.
It's kind of like watching two really big dudes in a slap fight where neither one of them flinches.
Yeah. But yeah, this is really the problem. Like, Polarbear has just taken such a great position here with this choke point and everything, and like Zadayka can't expand, and I feel like Polarbear might have an edge here, but somehow Zadayka's actually making it work. What? There's
Yeah,
like
he's pushing
only
this back.
P shields that are left. Is Zadayka gonna take this?
He very well might. It doesn't look like Polarbear is producing anything other than P shields at this point. I don't know if that's a mistake from him or if it was part of a planned strategy, but it seems like he just does not have a whole lot of stuff that actually shoots.
Oh, going for the commander I think would be actually a mistake here. Okay, good. He pulls it back.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would have been an overextension.
Yeah, just slowly. This is a slower war. You gotta focus on the production, and just try to win the game or the fight that you're already winning. I think he's pushing a little too far here. Oh, he's gonna go for it. He's going for the commander.
Might work out for him here. But Polar Bear is on the retreat. He's got a lot of shields protecting him right now.
It's so hard to tell what's happening right now. Oh, I guess I can look at the actual shield bars on the units, but it's like whose shields are whose shields are falling.
Yeah, especially when they get all mixed up, it's so hard to tell.
And see, this air is just useless for everybody.
But Polar Bear's on the back foot here. His base is crumbling. His army is starting to thin out a little bit.
Yeah, so I think
And his
Zadayka
commander is
has
about
this.
to start taking some fire.
You know, with P shields though, if they fall, your army can fall in a matter of seconds. But I think the problem is that Polar Bear only has P shields left. And yeah, that's GG. Wow. What a ridiculous match. I honestly thought Polar Bear was starting to bring it back, and then somehow Zadayka, I think Zadayka just built his units in a better order. I still don't see the point of getting jump jets in this matchup, or not jump jets, the boosters in this matchup. But I think they still end up being kind of useful. I don't know. I have to watch more games, but definitely an interesting one. And we're gonna take just a short break, and we're gonna go right into that quarterfinals because we're actually a little behind that. But nevertheless, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back very, very soon. If you're still watching, give a thumbs up to this video. If you liked the video, leave a comment. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you are blown away by it, check out my Patreon page. This has been Nite. Take care and peace out.